Imagine being told you're not good enough to make your high school basketball team. Most people would quit. But one teenager turned that rejection into motivation and became the greatest basketball player of all time. His name was Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was born on February 17th, 1963, in Brooklyn, New York. Soon after, his family moved to North Carolina, where he spent most of his childhood. As a kid, Jordan loved competition. He played baseball, football, and basketball with his brothers every chance he got. But basketball quickly became his favorite sport. He dreamed of one day playing in front of thousands of fans and becoming a star. What he didn't know was that his biggest setback was just around the corner. When Michael reached high school, he was determined to make the varsity basketball team. He trained hard and believed he was ready. But when the team list was posted, his name wasn't there. Jordan was devastated. He went home, locked himself in his room, and cried. For a young athlete, it felt like his dream had been taken away. Most people would have accepted defeat. Michael did the opposite. From that day forward, he trained harder than ever before. He spent countless hours practicing his shooting, ball handling, and athleticism. Every missed shot, every difficult workout, and every early morning became part of his mission to prove everyone wrong. That rejection didn't destroy his confidence. It created a mindset that would eventually make him a legend. The following year, all that hard work paid off. Michael made the team and quickly became one of the best players in his school. His performances started attracting attention from college scouts across the country. Coaches could see that he wasn't just talented. He had an incredible work ethic and a desire to win. Eventually, Jordan earned a scholarship to the University of North Carolina, one of the top basketball programs in America. There, he faced a new challenge, competing against some of the best young players in the country. But Michael wasn't intimidated. He worked harder than everyone else and earned a place in the starting lineup. Then, in 1982, he experienced the moment that changed his life forever. With the national championship on the line, the ball ended up in his hands. Only seconds remained on the clock. Thousands of fans were watching, and the pressure was enormous. Instead of panicking, Michael stayed calm. He received the pass, took the shot, and scored. The basket gave the University of North Carolina the national championship and instantly made Jordan one of the most talked about young players in the country. It was the first truly iconic moment of his career. For many athletes, a shot like that would become the highlight of a lifetime. For Michael Jordan, it was only the beginning. Over the next few years, he continued improving his game and proving he belonged among the best players in America. Soon, a much bigger stage was waiting for him. The NBA was about to discover a superstar unlike anything basketball had ever seen. In 1984, Michael Jordan made the decision to leave college and enter the NBA draft. Teams knew he was talented, but nobody could predict how much he would change the sport. Jordan was selected third overall by the Chicago Bulls. At the time, the Bulls were not a championship team. They struggled to win games and rarely received national attention. Everything changed the moment Michael stepped onto the court. From his very first season, fans could see something special. He moved faster, jumped higher, and played with an energy that seemed impossible. Crowds packed arenas just to watch him play. Defenders couldn't stop him, and every game seemed to produce a new highlight. Before long, the entire league was talking about one player. Michael Jordan had arrived, and basketball would never be the same again. Jordan's rookie season exceeded every expectation. Night after night, he scored against some of the best defenders in the world. His dunks, speed, and creativity amazed fans everywhere. He averaged more than 28 points per game and quickly became one of the most exciting players in the NBA. People started calling him Air Jordan because it looked like he could fly. His popularity exploded. Even people who didn't follow basketball wanted to watch him play. By the end of the season, Jordan won the NBA Rookie of the Year award and had already become one of the league's biggest stars. But individual success wasn't enough for him. Michael wanted championships. The problem was that the Chicago Bulls weren't strong enough yet, and the toughest challenges of his career were still ahead. Very soon, he would meet the team that seemed impossible to beat. That team was the Detroit Pistons, known throughout the league as the Bad Boys. The Pistons played an extremely physical style of basketball. Their goal was simple: stop Michael Jordan at any cost. Every time Jordan drove to the basket, multiple defenders would hit, push, and challenge him. The games became battles rather than basketball contests. Year after year, the Pistons eliminated the Bulls from the playoffs. Many people began questioning whether Jordan could ever win a championship. Critics claimed he was an incredible scorer, but not a player who could lead a team to a title. Michael heard all the criticism. Instead of making excuses, he used it as motivation. He spent the offseason in the gym, building muscle and becoming stronger than ever before. Jordan knew that if he wanted to become a champion, he would have to overcome the biggest obstacle of his career. By 1991, all of Michael's hard work was finally paying off. The Bulls had become a stronger team, and Jordan was playing the best basketball of his life. When the playoffs began, everyone wanted to see whether Chicago could finally defeat Detroit. This time they did. The Bulls swept the Pistons and advanced to the NBA Finals. After years of disappointment, Jordan was finally one step away from a championship. In the finals, Chicago faced the Los Angeles Lakers, led by basketball legend Magic Johnson. Many experts believed the Lakers would win, but Jordan had other plans. He dominated the series with spectacular performances, incredible scoring, and clutch plays. When the final buzzer sounded, the Chicago Bulls were champions. Michael Jordan had won his first NBA title. After years of criticism and failure, he had finally reached the top of the basketball world. Winning one championship was impressive. Winning 3 in a row was legendary. After capturing his first title in 1991, Jordan and the Bulls became nearly unstoppable. They won the NBA championship again in 1992 and once more in 1993. Michael was now the biggest star in sports. Fans around the world wore his shoes, watched his games, and copied his moves on playgrounds. His Air Jordan sneakers became a global phenomenon. It seemed like Jordan could do no wrong. But then, something unexpected happened. In 1993, Michael's father, James Jordan, was tragically murdered. The loss devastated him. Basketball no longer felt the same. At the height of his career, with 3 championships in a row and millions of fans watching, Michael Jordan made a shocking announcement. He was retiring from basketball. The sports world couldn't believe it. Jordan's retirement shocked the entire world. Fans couldn't understand why the best player on the planet would walk away at the peak of his career. But Michael wanted a new challenge. Inspired by his late father, he decided to pursue a dream from his childhood, becoming a professional baseball player. He signed with a baseball organization and spent months learning a completely different sport. Many people criticized the decision. Some said he was making a mistake. Others believed he would fail. Although Jordan worked incredibly hard, baseball proved much more difficult than expected. His performances were respectable, but it was clear that he wasn't dominating the sport the way he had dominated basketball. Meanwhile, NBA fans continued hoping for one thing. They wanted Michael Jordan back. And in 1995, the moment they had been waiting for finally arrived. Jordan released a simple 2-word statement that became famous around the world. "I'm back." The moment Jordan returned, the entire NBA changed. Although he was still one of the best players in the league, the Bulls were not yet ready to win another championship. In the 1995 playoffs, they were eliminated by the Orlando Magic. For Michael, that loss was unacceptable. He spent the entire offseason training harder than ever. He arrived for the next season stronger, sharper, and more determined. What followed was one of the greatest seasons in sports history. The 1995-96 Chicago Bulls won 72 games, setting an NBA record at the time. Jordan led the team in scoring and once again became the most feared player in basketball. When the playoffs arrived, Chicago dominated. The Bulls reached the NBA Finals and defeated the Seattle Supersonics to win another championship. Jordan was back on top, and this was only the beginning of an even greater comeback story. After winning the championship in 1996, Jordan and the Bulls weren't satisfied. They wanted more. In 1997, Chicago returned to the NBA Finals, where they faced the Utah Jazz. The series was intense, and every game seemed to come down to the final moments. Then came one of the most famous performances in basketball history. Before Game 5, Jordan became seriously ill. He was weak, exhausted, and could barely stand. Many people thought he wouldn't even play. But Michael refused to sit out. Despite his condition, he scored 38 points and led the Bulls to a crucial victory. The performance became known as the Flu Game and is still considered one of the greatest displays of determination in sports history. A few days later, Chicago won the championship. Jordan had proven once again that legends rise when the pressure is greatest. 1 year later, the Bulls found themselves back in the NBA Finals against the Utah Jazz once again. The series was tied, and the pressure couldn't have been higher. Game 6 would become one of the most famous games in basketball history. With less than a minute remaining, Chicago was trailing. Jordan knew the season, and perhaps an entire era, was on the line. First, he scored a quick basket. Then, he stole the ball from Karl Malone, one of the Jazz's biggest stars. With only seconds left, Jordan dribbled down the court. The crowd held its breath. He made a move, created space, and took the shot. The ball went in. Chicago took the lead. It became known simply as the last shot, one of the most iconic moments in sports history. The Bulls won their 6th championship, and Jordan secured his place as a legend forever. After winning 6 NBA championships, Michael Jordan retired once again in 1999. This time, many people believe his career was truly over. He had nothing left to prove. He was a 6-time champion, a 5-time MVP, and the most famous basketball player in the world. But Jordan wasn't ready to leave the game completely. He became involved in basketball management and later surprised fans by returning to the NBA once again in 2001, this time with the Washington Wizards. Although he was no longer the unstoppable athlete of the 1990s, he continued to impress fans with his skill, experience, and competitive spirit. Even in his late 30s, Jordan scored over 40 points in NBA games and showed flashes of the greatness that made him famous. Then, in 2003, Michael Jordan played the final game of his legendary career. The crowd gave him a standing ovation that lasted for minutes. Retirement didn't end Michael Jordan's influence on the world. In many ways, it made his legacy even bigger. His partnership with Nike created the Air Jordan brand, which became one of the most successful sports brands in history. Decades after his last championship, millions of people still buy Jordan sneakers every year. Jordan also became a successful businessman. Over time, he built a fortune worth billions of dollars and became one of the wealthiest athletes ever. But what makes his story truly special isn't the money, the championships, or the records. It's the mindset. Every setback became motivation. Every failure became fuel. When people doubted him, he worked harder. That's why athletes from every sport continue to study his career. They don't just admire his talent. They admire the relentless determination that turned a rejected high school player into a global icon. Jordan's impact went far beyond basketball. His Air Jordan sneakers became one of the most successful brands in history, generating billions of dollars and influencing popular culture around the world. He also became the principal owner of an NBA team and one of the richest athletes ever. Yet despite all the business success, most people remember him for one thing: his incredible competitiveness. Jordan hated losing. Teammates often described him as obsessed with winning. He pushed everyone around him to work harder and expected excellence every single day. Over the years, he collected countless achievements: 6 NBA championships, 6 Finals MVP awards, 5 League MVP awards, 10 scoring titles, and 2 Olympic gold medals. Many players have won championships. Many have scored thousands of points. But very few have changed an entire sport. Michael Jordan did exactly that. Today, decades after his final championship, the debate continues. Who is the greatest basketball player of all time? For millions of fans, the answer remains Michael Jordan. His story isn't just about basketball. It's about perseverance, discipline, and refusing to accept failure. A teenager once cried after being cut from his high school team. Instead of giving up, he worked harder than anyone around him. That decision changed his life forever. From a rejected high school player to a global icon, Michael Jordan built a legacy that may never be matched. And that's why, whenever greatness is discussed, one name is always mentioned first. Michael Jordan.